Hello everyone, I hope that you guys are enjoying the Loki and Elith season of Marvel Snap. We just recently had an over-the-air patch change, and with that came some pretty decent changes to both Spider-Ham and Shadow King. Shadow King has a lot of value right now in things like setting Collector back down. We have a lot of Kitty Prides, we have a lot of Angelas, we have a lot of Bishops, a lot of Shuri ramp style decks, a lot of Destroy. All of those can be offset by the Shadow King. And so he has a lot of value, but it didn't really feel like he fit anywhere except for a Silver Surfer build, something where you could kind of afford a less efficient 3-cost if it didn't have good value. It wasn't a solid enough counter to slot into really any other deck. So they brought him down to a 2-cost, and now I think he fits into like a Hawk, Stature, Black Bolt style curve much, much better. We also have the Spider-Ham at the 1-cost instead of the 2. He still targets the leftmost card, and so sometimes we'll get just a dud resource. Other times we may still get lucky and get a good card, but at a 1-cost slot, I think it is definitely worth slotting in and experimenting with once again. And so overall, this is a pretty straightforward deck. The Jeff could be another good value 2-cost card if you don't have him. Iron Lad continues to gain value as we get more impressive cards throughout the game. He just continues to get better and better. If you don't have Spider-Ham, he could easily be a Korg, and the rest of the deck is just stacked with good value, good cards. If you get hit with a Loki, then you're hoping that they don't get some of your key resources. You're wanting to hit their Collector with your Shadow King. Don't get too greedy in case they pull your Spider-Ham, but otherwise it's a pretty standard Hawk deck. And so we're going to be jumping into a couple games. Thank you guys as always for being here. We are about 200 subscribers away from 40,000. So if you're not currently subscribed and you want to help me hit that next milestone, definitely subscribe. I'd love to have you here. But with that being said, we're going to jump into a couple of games. I hope you guys enjoy. In our deck, we see I don't know if you guys can see it. We see the outline of one of our splits, I think. Right here. It looks like a Kirby Crackle, but I don't know what card we have that would have that Kirby Crackle. So we do get our Rock Slide, which is beautiful for our 2 Hawk cards. I think we go Rock Slide and then we go good old Jeffrey. That would allow us to either do a Shadow King to set this to 5 next round, or we can do a Shang-Chi. Either way, I think we're going to have a really big benefit on the opponent. So the Rock Slide comes down, buffing up both of our Hawks. They go Forge into the Venom. We are going to be able to hit that with either a Shang-Chi or Shadow King. Both are going to be very viable here. I think we probably go Shadow King, though. I mean, we have initiative, so maybe we do something like this. I think we're going to move everything over. The only thing we're worried about is if they have a death and a null combo, but I don't think they've destroyed enough cards. It's going to be close, but if they have a death and a null combo, there's a chance there is a realm somewhere where they're able to outpower us because we have initiative. Our Shang-Chi is not going to be able to hit anything besides the Venom, and then it's going to buff up the null in the process. We'll see. We'll see what they end up going with. We do play for the left and the right. They play 1 card in the left lane, which could be big and could overpower still. We'll see. We hit their null. Wow, so they had null in hand, but they did not choose to play it. They go death in mid. They go Deadpool in the left lane, and it is not quite enough. All right, next up we have Dr. J. The first location is, I guess it's Doctor, spelled out. First location is Gamma Lab. They do have, oh my goodness. They have an X23, so they're going to have some kind of either destroy or discard hybrid. And then we hit their Apocalypse with the Spider-Ham, which is just so beautiful. I anticipate seeing a Dakin at some point, but without them being able to discard that Apocalypse and get that high roll there, I think we're in a much better spot than we were a couple of minutes ago. Or I guess a couple of turns ago. And so we do have our Enchanters, we have Shang-Chi, we have Stature. We're looking to do maybe Enchantress into the Morbius on turn number 4 to help offset that one, but I still don't know if that's enough to win the... All right, next up we have Hella Enjoyer, and they are a Hella Enjoyer. We're going to drop our Spider-Ham. That is not a good hit. The Infinite we know is going to come down. That's unfortunate. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate that their Infinite was in the far left location in their hand. Yeesh. Oh well. It happens. Let's go ahead and do our Jeff. We're going to go ahead and do M'Baku. We have the ability to do Enchantress, Shadow King. We have Doctor Doom if we want to lean into the ability to go wide on the last turn. But we know that they are going to... They're going to make us pay. I'm guessing this is probably the She-Hulk Infinite... The She-Hulk Infinite deck that extends the game and then wants to skip on 6 into 7. Is what I imagine happens. They don't have to do that anymore because of their pig. But if we can hit that thing with the Shadow King, beauty. It would end up being a pure sight of beauty. Setting the pig to 0 would be my like ultimate high roll goal here. So the Jubilee comes down. Oh, this is the Living Tribunal deck. What a beautiful black and white. All of these are black and white. My goodness. This is the hella Living Tribunal deck. Now that we get a little bit closer to it, which is a little bit scary. It's a lot of bit scary, actually. They have the Onslaught. If they have the Iron Man to go on top of it, we do have Enchantress, which is going to be a good thing if we can hit the Living Tribunal and make all of their stuff kind of consolidate back together. The Iron Man in the black and white Iron Man, that, my goodness, look at all of these. And these are like some of the token variants, the 1200 variants, just a lot going on right now. Let's go Doctor Doom. We have not seen our Black Bolt in like since we started running this deck. As long as they don't yank this location away, we're fine. I don't think they're going to be running something that does that. So I think we're okay with the Enchantress in the left lane. Just bringing them down to only 8 power instead of 32 is a massive drop. And if we can hit the Living Tribunal, even better. All right, so to go pig in the left lane, that is going to be a Shadow King legend. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Shadow King legend. Let's drop the bomb on them. Let's go Shadow King. Let's go Enchantress. And that's where we're going to call it good. We could do the Hawk, but they only have a handful of cards in their deck. It does set it back to 0, right? Like I'm not imagining that. Shang-Chi is the safer play to make sure we guarantee get rid of it. I like the Shadow King. I got a soft spot for the Shadow King. All right, let's go Enchantress. If they go Living Tribunal in the left lane as their finisher, we are going to hit that with Enchantress. We should be able to win all of the locations as long as Shadow King sets the pig to 0. Beautiful, unfortunate, but beautiful. We do have the 4 cubes because they did snap against us. We win mid, we win right. They still win left lane with just the raw power. That is a purely black and white Hella Resummon Living Tribunal deck. That is a thing of pure beauty. I cannot imagine that much dedication, that much commitment. And I'm married. All right, next up we have top deck with the bracket KMB. So I'm not sure if it's KM Best on an alt or if it's just someone that's a big fan of KM Best. So we'll see. We're going to play it the same regardless. The first location is Titan, so our Doctor Doom is discounted, but then we get a follow-up location of Project Pegasus. I think we're going to go ahead and do the Doctor Doom now. That way we just get the power on the board. We're pressuring all 3 locations, just good value. Electro is kind of scary. They could be going with the Galactus, they could be going Elith, they could be going Sandman as well. And so a couple of scary lines that they could be going with. In case they're going something like Galactus, I'm going to go ahead and do Shadow King. We're going to put some power on the board and start pressuring where we can. Misty Knight? Electro, wait. What are they cooking? What in the world are they cooking? My goodness, I am intrigued. Like, if nothing else, my interest is very much piqued. It has to be some form of a Galactus deck, right? Like, there's no way. There's the Elith. Odin would be pretty tough to compete against here. I'm going to do an Iron Lad and a Spider Ham. We're going to hit their leftmost card just in case this left lane is an Odin. We hit Jeff with the Iron Lad. We pop their... Wow. We pop their Arnim Zola. And this is a beautiful Black Panther variant. My goodness, we are running into so many cool variants right now. So they don't have the Arnim Zola anymore. This Jeff is versatile. If they go Odin here, I think we just let them play here. Odin here, they have no way to reach Morag. So I think we're going to do something like Enchantress plus Jeff. I think Odin comes down here, or Leader. Either one, I think. Oh, wait, no, wait, what are we doing? What are we thinking? Let's go Jeff and then Enchantress. We don't want to Enchantress the Hawk. That would just be awful. And so they go one card in mid. What card are they going with in mid? Oh, that's so close. That was so ugly. Oh my gosh. Well, oof. That's a really cool idea. I haven't seen anybody running this, but you could Electro Ramp into the Evil Hulk into an Arnim Zola. Massive. You can also have the Odin to do Elith into Arnim Zola into Odin to clear out the other 2 lanes. A lot of cool play paths. I like this idea. I may have to do some brewing. All right, next up we have Sock. The left location is Xandar. Let's go ahead and throw our Spider Ham. 1, get some information about the opponent's deck. 2, potentially disrupt it. Beautiful. They had the Dan Hip Elith, and that is now gone, my friend. Gone, I said. We could have the Shadow King. I don't know if we play it yet or not. I think we hold it for now. Right now, it would be kind of a... Ooh. It is a Loki Elith deck? There's some crazy brews going on right now. Some crazy brews. Let's go Rock Slide in Shuri's Lab. Then on 4, we can do something like maybe Iron Lad. Maybe we go Jeff plus Shadow King somewhere. We're going to offset Collector. As soon as they drop their Loki and they no longer have generating cards for themselves, we're going to drop Shadow King on their Collector and just cause so much unfortunate things. They have a Cable, which is always a little bit scary now. It buffs up the Collector, but it also takes a resource. And so I have been playing this deck for about 10 games now. We've won 9 of the 10 games. I have not seen Black Bolt, not a single time, not once in the 10 games. Wild that could even potentially happen, let alone that it did. Let's go ahead and do our Iron Lad. Let's see what he hits. Black Bolt, Doctor Doom, Enchantress, Shang-Chi, Zabu. All decent lines for us. Let's go Iron Lad, see if we get anything good. Doctor Doom is solid. We will take the Doctor Doom action. We wanted to avoid playing in Shuri's Lab too much. We don't want too many cards that are above 9. That just makes us too susceptible to too many things. So we have initiative. Their Angela is also another great target for our Shadow King. So I kind of think we do... Do we just do Jeff? Just doing Jeff here is decent. We're going to have initiative, so Shadow King's not going to be huge regardless. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it now. We're going to go ahead and do Shadow King now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The Jeff in Shuri's Lab is a decent, rovable, moving... Ooh, Kitty Pryde comes down a touch too late, my friend. Otherwise, it was going to be able to get out of hand very, very quickly with Shuri's Lab. We will absolutely take it. Their Collector goes to 1. We now see our Black Bolt, so they have either Enchantress, Shang-Chi, or our Zabu. We don't know which one, but I do think we go with something like... I honestly think we're just going to do Doctor Doom mid. And I'm moving Jeff to the left. No, I'm going to go ahead and... Hold on. We changed our mind. If they're going to do Shang-Chi, then that's a lot of power committed to Shuri's Lab. So I think we'd be able to win outside of that play. Let's go Doctor Doom and Shuri's Lab. I think that would give us... Ooh, that they do use our card, so it could be the Shang-Chi. But if they use our Shang-Chi, that brings us down still above the 8-ish power. The Kitty Pryde in the left lane is big, but it's not big enough. They go Snow Guard to buff up their Collector. They go Enchantress, thinking that we're going to throw down the Hawk, but we actually get the clean casserole, the clean sweep. We will take it. All right, next up we have 7-1, which may be like 7-1. Just spelled uniquely. We do get our Spider Ham. Let's go ahead and throw, I think, our Zabu. The good thing about Spider-Ham is it won't really matter when we throw him. It's always going to hit the leftmost card. So if it's a big resource anyways, then it'll still be in the left lane. Otherwise, we're just clearing up some space for maybe some better things along the lines. So they do have the Silk Craven movement is what I'm imagining this will be. Let's go Iron Lad in the right. We don't have a lot of great cards, but we have some decent ones. We have the Jeff, we have the Rock Slide, the Hawk, and then our counter cards in the Shang-Chi, Shadow King, or Enchantress. Let's still go Iron Lad in the right lane. Next turn is looking like probably Spider-Ham, maybe Spider-Ham plus Rock Slide, Spider-Ham plus Hawk, Spider-Ham plus Jeff. They have a Rock Slide, so it's a Silk Hawk deck, maybe? Interesting. Okay, let's go Spider-Ham and Jeff in the left. We can move our roving Iron Lad, and they did snap on us, but we're back to playing ranked where it's just kind of, it is what it is. I'm not playing it hyper efficiently. That gets exhausting very quickly when you see your rank climb and then you lose a couple or you get tilted and then you see it drop drastically. It's just not a fun way to play for me. So we're just gonna go back to playing it the way we do normally. We'll probably hover around top 1,000, but from there it's about it. So they play a Daredevil, they play a Jeff. We do take out their Miles Morales, so they're not going to be able to get that cheap resource after the Jeff moves. We have our Enchantress. They do have the Daredevil Insight here. Let's go Black Bolt. We're hoping that Stature does not get pulled into Grand Central. If it does, then we'll kind of assess from there. But Black Bolt and then Doctor Doom would be great, because that would allow us to do Stature, Enchantress, and something else on the last turn like Shadow King. All right, so the Professor X in Grand Central. We can overcome that by moving this Jeff over, unless they have a way to further buff it, which I don't think they do. Interesting. We have this number, and then this number, right? If they have something like Claw, then we're taking it out. Blue Marvel, we're taking it out. I think we're okay. Let's go ahead and lock it in. I think we're pretty confident here. The Professor X into the Mystique is they're super cooking right now. We do get the retreat. All right, next up we have Might Fossa. The first location is Hell's Kitchen, which allows us to draw into our Spider-Ham. Let's go ahead and throw it down since we have it and since we can. They have their Kitty Pryde. What are we going to take out of theirs? Nick Fury, the Nick Fury of all cards. So it could be that they're running a Loki deck. It could be a number of things right now, but we hit Weirdworld, which is not great. Let's go ahead and do Jeff. I like having our cards better, honestly, rather than their random mumbo jumbo. They do have the Collector. We have Shadow King or Shang-Chi if it gets a little bit too out of hand to set that back to normal. Oh my goodness. We have Loki, and then we can grab another Loki card. Potentially from Loki. Let's do it. We're not going to pass up the opportunity to become the Loki player. Maybe we get a Collector, and then we can draw another Loki. No, of course not. Okay. We get their Chavez, which is not good. We get their Cosmo, so we can offset another location. We have the Nick Fury. Angela's decent for us. We can go Angela. We can go Quinjet. Would go Cosmo. Or we can go Angela, Cosmo, and then Quinjet somewhere else. We have the cheap Chavez that we can use next turn into maybe something else. I don't know. We'll see. They do use Snow Guard, so we're each going to draw one of our own resources on this following turn. Let's see what we can get. Maybe we get one of our good cards. Zabu. That's not what we wanted to see. That is not... that was not it. That was not the card we wanted to see. Let's go Nick Fury. Let's go this and then this. I like the idea of Nick Fury, but I think the raw power of Chavez, I don't know. We do have Shang-Chi in our deck, so I'm going to do this instead. It's not as much good raw power spread, but it's okay. We have the Nick Fury that is going to give us a couple of resources. Nothing fantastic. The Helicarrier, which does beat our Chavez. They go Legion, so we will be able to draw our own resource next turn. So we know that they're getting a Chavez, so interesting decision on their end. I guess I'm going to do this. They'll have to impact all 3 lanes. It's only for 1 additional cube. Otherwise, I'm not super confident, and we wouldn't really stick around here. So they go Cable, which will buff up their Collector, Kitty Pride, and then Snow Guard, which will re-trigger Oscorp Tower in that right lane, or try to. We are going to take the left lane with the Helicarrier. We take the middle location, and we are the Loki player now.